Hey Gemini, welcome to your mid-November reading. So the first thing that I'm hearing as soon as I sit down is lighten your load. And Spirit is showing me this a few different ways. One way is somebody walking away from a situation like, not my circus, not my monkeys, as they say. And it's a lightening your load of simply like, nothing is even changing. I've just decided to take the weight of this off of my shoulders and be like, they're going to do what they're going to do. And I need to go ahead and proceed. Okay, so for those of you for whom that resonates, take that. For some of you, it's literally simplifying your life in various ways. Spirit is showing me somebody living in a minimalist space where it's like, I just prefer to worry about fewer things. And that means if I have fewer things, then I worry about fewer things. You know what I'm saying? And some of you, it's that, but in the mental realm. You know what I mean? I really need to kind of like defrag my internal hard drive. For those of you for whom that makes sense, like anybody remember defragmenting a hard drive where you declutter it and it moves a lot faster when you clear the cache and you get rid of all those temporary files. Let's say mentally and emotionally speaking, let's get rid of these temporary files. It's not something that happens on its own. We have to do it, right? So might be a great time to reflect on what you are prepared to let go. Spirit is now connecting this to the fact that we just had a full moon in Taurus. So that would have been in your 12th house, the house of endings, the house of transcendence and transition into new life, which is Aries, right? 12th house is the in between, and then Aries is like the baby being born, right? So pre/afterlife, same thing, and then something new becomes. So what do you need to lighten from your load so that you can have a little bit of a more buoyant step is something that Spirit is saying. So you're probably needing to clear some guilt and some regret and some just any kind of like lingering ghosts is one of the words that Spirit just used. And they don't mean that in a literal sense, but in, some of you don't even realize that your mother and father are walking around your house in, spiritual, energetic form and informing the things that you do and the choices that you make, even if they're not the choices that you would make. Do you know what I'm saying? Okay, let's get into some cards. All right, thank you, Spirit, for being here for Gemini. Loved ones and guides of Gemini people, Gemini sun, Gemini moon, Gemini rising, Gemini and third house dominant people. Spirit, we want to know what they need to know in mid-November for their highest good. Zooming into this moment in this chapter for Gemini people. What do you want to share with them, Spirit? I want to know how Gemini themselves is showing up and what is showing up to meet them. What do you want to share with Gemini people for their highest good, Spirit? We want to know your guidance, your perspective for the highest good of Gemini people. Perfect. Gemini in mid-November. What do they need to know, Spirit? Lightening your load. First card up. Where are you, Gemini? Right here. 1 foot in the water, 1 foot on land. Temperance and a sense of balance will bring you clarity, will bring you joy, will bring you a better sense of the path forward. Okay? So here's a wonderful pro tip. Sitting in the position representing your current situation, 5 of Cups. As Spirit said, that full moon happened in your 12th house, house of endings and unfinished business and loose ends and transcendence or lack thereof. Okay? So the pro tip is when you are in a 5 of Cups place, when you are feeling really sad or down or bereft or cynical or skeptical about the future, that is not the time to be making plans or coming up with conclusions about what's happening. Just accept when you are in a bad fucking mood or a sad mood that like, it's okay for me to feel this way. I don't need to think my way out of it. I don't need to try to figure anything out right now. This is the exact wrong time to try to figure something out. What I need right now is a long cry or a long bath or a long walk or whatever it is that comforts and supports me when I'm feeling really fucking sad, when I've missed out on something or lost some opportunity that I wish that I had had. So if you are mourning something, if you are wishing things had gone another way, I just want to say two cups are still standing in the image of that card. So the Five of Cups, as much as it is a card of like, oh, there was some kind of loss here, there is some kind of disappointment here, do make sure that you aren't, again, drawing big conclusions and creating stunning narratives about this thing that is happening and what it means about you or about your life or about love or about your abilities or whatever. No. This is one moment. Don't get lost in it. There are still two cups standing. So there might be a little bit of, I'm really noticing what's not working and what I'm lacking versus what is available to me and what is present in my life that I do really enjoy and that I'm grateful for. And what we focus on, it tends to grow and more of it tends to arrive. So if we're focusing on what we're lacking, you can finish the sentence. Okay, now the good news. I see most of you taking, whether you see this reading or not, I see most Geminis taking the route of temperance, of moderation, of, like, not to make fun of my fellow beloved water sign people, but it's like, I'm not a water sign. I'm not just going to fall into the pit of despair and stay there. There's probably a couple of different aspects to this. You know what I mean? I could probably stand to change this or that about myself. You're a mutable sign, adaptable, love to see that. Temperance would be encouraging moderation. So no overdoing it in any regard. And if you find that you have overdone it, it would be overdoing it to be cruel to yourself about it, right? The best answer to like, oh my gosh, I've overdone it, I've overindulged, or I've been whatever, is to gently add a little bit of a counterweight in the other direction. Okay, I overindulged. So today I'm going to drink a whole lot of water, make sure I get a nice, gentle, long walk in, and I eat something that has seen the sun. And I'm not going to beat myself up or go any further about it. Okay, now stretch that food and body and health metaphor across your life. Like, oh damn, I said something that I should not have said to a loved one. I figured out why I did it, and I went to them and I said, I figured out why I did it, and I'm really sorry about that, and I'm going to make sure that I don't do that again. And post that conversation, I'm not going to beat myself up. I'm simply going to hold myself to what I said I would do, and that is the most that I can do. So, not getting lost in big, complex narratives, just coming to what is really right in the here and now. Which brings me to the King of Pentacles, sitting in the position representing the situation arising. I see you feeling stable and sure and content and fulfilled. You're sitting with your money, you're sitting with your skills. I want to pull another card. I want to know a little bit more about this spirit. That's so funny. This one jumped right out. The High Priestess. So trust your intuition. Spirit is saying something else with this, which is Five of Cups. If you quote unquote missed the boat on something, they're going to bring you back to an axiom of the universe, which is like anything happening in your life, it's not happening to you, it's happening for you. It's helpful to at least look through that lens and look for, oh, okay, so maybe I missed out on this opportunity. And instead of maybe reacting to that or trying to do something like scrape those sandy waters back into those three cups, I'm going to, High Priestess, King of Pentacles, what do they have in common? They're both chilling. They are both sitting back. They trust the process. That's something they have in common. When a King of Pentacles plants a pentacle, he's like, yeah, it's only a matter of time. It's only a matter of time. Maybe it's taken a little longer. That's okay. He's not getting up and running around. That's not him. So, you don't need to be getting up and scrambling and trying to do a whole bunch of things. Sit back, allow things to unfold. High Priestess would say more information is going to come to light. New things and new developments, that's the word that they're using. New developments are happening in the background. So if you were to be rash about this, or again, create some kind of narrative out of all of this sadness, you'd basically be putting yourself through something for nothing. What I'm hearing for some of you is this job that you've been waiting for, or this money that you've been waiting for, is like, it's on its way. So please, if it's on its way, but it's going to take 3 more months or whatever, wouldn't it be better to get to the end of 3 months not having beat the shit out of yourself throughout the whole 3 months to finally get that answer back and be like, hey, sorry for the glacial pace of this hiring. Like, that's how these things usually work. You got the job. Thank you. We loved what you said. You were so great, or whatever. You're going to feel silly if you get to that moment and you've been beating yourself down about it. You know what I'm saying? So be patient. Trust the process. Five of Cups. Sometimes, risk comes with loss. Sometimes that goes for money, that goes for love, etc. It not all is certainly not lost, especially looking at that Temperance card. So, sitting in the position representing the heart of the matter, King of Wands, being a creative visionary, and being a creative visionary for your life. This is your one life as the you that you are. Now, don't get me wrong, you're an immortal soul. When you die, you will just close your eyes. This thing will stop working. This body will stop working, and your consciousness will awaken in another form. Okay, so you're not going anywhere. But this life, with these skills and interests and abilities and connections, this is a one-time thing. What do you want to do with it? What makes you really excited? What do you want to do more of? What would light you up? This seems to be kind of a common message that is coming across readings. Different cards. Well, we live in times that are making things very stark. It's like, life is short. What do I want to do? How do I want to shine my light? How do I want to use the fire that is my animating force? Okay, what do you want to do with the intersection of your skills and abilities and perspectives? That's something that you ought to be thinking about, and how you can, Temperance, gently integrate using more of what makes you passionate and charismatic and excited. And what makes you excited makes you exciting, is something that Spirit is saying also. Okay, so short-term future. Five of Cups, and then over here in the short-term future, we have the Death card. The conclusive ending, the no going back, again, the 3 cups have spilled. There is no scraping that water back into these cups. Things are not going to go back to the way they were, because that's not how things work. Time marches on, so even if we try, it's like they say, you can never go home again, because it's not the same place anymore, because you are a different person. You're in a different place. That's really what it is. And your mission, should you choose to accept it, is to recognize that we all go through births and deaths throughout our whole life, and that a death cycle always leads to a rebirth cycle, a new start. And the sooner that we can kind of metabolize that things have ended, and what is left here, and what do I want to take forward, and what do I want to leave behind, and what things do I want to lighten my load so that I can make more room for what wants to be here. You are allowed a new start. You're allowed to start again. There's literally no such thing as too young, too old, too this, too that, to say, you know what I want to do? I want to knit, or I want to be on YouTube, or I want to play with paper dolls, or whatever. It's your life. Animate yourself. And I'll tell you this, my understanding from Spirit is, every time we make a decision to do what really feels like us, we are doing the right thing for everyone around us, whether they like it or not. And some of them won't like it. A lot of people will love it, but some people won't like it because they want you to stay the same. It's not because they're bad. It's not because they don't want to see you successful. It's because they want you to stay the same, but you are not the same. You are not the same. You have grown. You have a desire and an opportunity to be way more on top of your game, and you will get it when you leave behind what is done and embrace the new. Page of Pentacles sits in your long-term future. It may feel like you are starting something new, where it's like, I'm starting from a place where I have to do some research, I have to learn some things, I have to take this new class if I want to be able to get, to this next level. It's worth your time. Page of Pentacles, slow and steady, being an avid student, being curious, having a very open mind and a willingness to learn and apply your learnings. Some of you, this is a new job. Some of you, this is I'm starting training because I want a new job. I want a new life. I encourage you strongly to move in the direction that feels the most like you. Gently, gently. No all or nothing, and no leaping into action. If you are one of the Geminis who doesn't know yet, High Priestess that shit. Sit back, relax, and trust that if I don't know what to do yet, there is some more data and some more intuition that is going to bubble up and nudge me in the right direction. Trust yourself. And if you don't trust yourself, work on that first. Okay. How's that hit you, Gemini? I hope that this is really helpful for you. I always appreciate you spending time with me, and I hope that it serves you very well. If I don't see you before then I hope I see you in December. Bye, Gemini.